Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include Thinking Day Rally was a great success. We visited the Millennium Baby. The Lions held their annual Speak-Off on Wednesday. These stories, plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
Hi, I'm a member of the TWIR Child Amputee Program. Donations for key tags go a long way to meet the needs of child amputees, like helping to pay for their artificial limbs, including specially designed ones for recreational activities. Through Jumpstart, children with multiple amputations get an early start on the future with computers and training. All this and more is made possible through donations to the Key Tag service. If you've been a supporter of the TWIR, you'll recognize these. Personalized key tags that are mailed to your home once a year. Key tags aren't just for car keys. They can be used on any keys you wish to protect. There's a comfort factor in attaching this to your keys. If you lose your keys, the person who finds them can call the TWIR at this toll-free number. A bonded courier will pick up your keys at the finder's home and return them to you immediately. Or the finder can drop your keys into any mailbox and the TWIR will return them to you by courier. Either way, the TWIR key return by courier ensures swift delivery of your lost keys. The TWIR also provides personalized address labels, another valuable service. And what about the future? JAMP graduates will carry on the tradition of amputees helping amputees. The TWIR, meeting the needs of child amputees thanks to your support of the Key Tag service.
The Guarding Movement held their Thinking Day rally on Tuesday, February 22nd in honor of the founder's birthday. It was a party-like atmosphere. Each group did their opening ceremony and then it was on to the fun and games. The girls enjoyed musical chairs, lap to lap, and a game called I Like.
She likes people with blonde hair.
The Guarders served the girls hot dogs, pop, ice cream, and cake. Each year at their rally, the girls and Guarders bring a loonie to donate to the World Association of Girl Guides and Scouts. This money is sent to underdeveloped countries where they have the Guarding movement but need our help with programming for their younger people. It helps to buy program books, badges, pins, etc. They sang happy birthday to the founders and also to one of the Guarders who happens to celebrate her birthday at the same time. The fun-filled evening ended with singing of Kumbaya. Everyone seemed to have a great time. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the first child born in our town in 2000, residents of Burgeo, Mackenzie Lynn McDonald. Mackenzie Lynn was born to Terry and Linda McDonald on Wednesday, February 9th. She entered the world at 8 pounds, 2.5 ounces, 54 centimeters long, with blue eyes and lots of black hair. Proud mom Linda tells us she breastfeeds every 2.5 to 3 hours. Mackenzie Lynn is like most babies and lets her mom and dad know when she's hungry. Terry is quick to point out that most of the time she's usually quiet and very pleasant. Her baptism was scheduled for today, Sunday, September 27th. Linda quietly tells us they have been waiting 2 years for this little miracle, and she was worth the wait. Terry and Linda have been overwhelmed by all the gifts they have received at the baby shower and since Mackenzie Lynn has been born. The town will be presenting the Millennium Coin to Mackenzie Lynn sometime in June. We thank the McDonalds for allowing us to visit and best wishes for the future. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
This is Cliff Chatterton of the War Amp. I've known Megan since she was 3.
This is your new swimming arm. This is the sport hand that goes with it, okay?
She was enrolled in camp after a terrible car crash costing an arm. Show kids you care. Be a part of the War Amp's Drive Safe campaign.
Drive safe.
On Wednesday of this week, the Lions held their annual Speak-Off. 6 Level 1 students took part in the Speak-Off this year. Julia Benoit spoke on abortion.
The crater where the bomb exploded is very much evident, as is the nearby damage caused by its explosion. The crater can be seen to the right of the road and 4 feet in front of the iron fence. Windows are blown out, and the tattered skeletons of canopies create a bizarre overhang. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Lions and Lioness, and fellow contestants. What you have just heard is not a war story from an overseas country, but the report of a bombing that took place on January 29, 1998 in Birmingham, Alabama. This bombing was the result of a terrorist act upon an abortion clinic. The life of an innocent man was taken, and an employee of the clinic was severely injured. The terrorist who bombed the clinic was never caught. He and many more like him are still out there terrorizing these medical clinics and denying people of their human rights, specifically the right to freedom of choice. Abortion, although it is not always realized, falls into 2 categories: induced abortion and spontaneous abortion.
Glenn Tucker spoke about reverse discrimination.
Good evening, judges, parents, Lions, Lioness, fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen. The subject that I have chosen to speak on is reverse discrimination. Over the last 100 years, mankind has developed a great deal socially. We now accept the idea that all men and all women are created equal. No longer can you be denied a job because of your age, race, sex, or culture, and we like to think that all is now fair and just. Not so long ago, minorities were ostracized and exploited, but thanks to government programs and watchdog groups, these people are now guaranteed the same rights as the majority group. Towards the end of the 20th century, however, the pendulum began to swing to the other extreme. Society now suffers from a new form of discrimination. This new breed of prejudice is now focused on the majority, attacking whites, males, and heterosexuals, and is called reverse discrimination. Reverse discrimination occurs when a person who has power favors minorities over the majority, giving them special rights just because they belong to a minority, or to a previously discriminated against group. This may occur in education, where a professor fears he will be called a racist if he fails a minority student.
Benjamin Vatcher's topic was the food fishery.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I would like to speak on an issue very close to the hearts of Newfoundlanders. Specifically, I would like to speak about the food fishery and why Newfoundland has only 2 weekends during the summer, while Nova Scotia gets over 2 months. The food fishery falls under federal jurisdiction. This means that it is up to the federal government to decide who fishes, where they fish, and how much they can catch. The government is allowing Nova Scotia to fish for over 2 months in the summer, allowing them to catch 5 fish per person every day with a maximum of 25 fish per boat. The government, however, is allowing Newfoundlanders only 2 weekends during the summer to catch 10 fish per person with a maximum of 50 fish per boat.
Dana Pink talked about children less fortunate than ours.
Morgan, age 11, is an orphan of AIDS. He says, I need a watch and a pair of shoes. I want a bicycle so I can get to school on time because the bus is always late. Good evening, lions, lioness, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about what it means to be a child in countries less fortunate than ours. A minute ago, I told you of Morgan, a young boy from Africa who faces a constant struggle just to be able to go to school. He is living with a deadly disease, and he is going through it alone. His parents and his brothers and sisters have already died from this disease, yet he tries to make his final years count. The frightening thing about this matter is that this loneliness and isolation is not limited to AIDS-infected kids, nor is it a problem in one or two countries. All over the world, children are fighting for some of the basic rights and freedoms that we all take for granted.
Pollution was Julia Billard's topic.
Good evening, lions, lioness, judges, and parents. Tonight I have chosen to speak on environmental pollution. To me, this is a very important topic that concerns everyone and in many generations to come. I should start out by saying that people throughout history have left the waste behind them, and it's only now that we are starting to realize the effects. We are now well into the 21st century, and obviously it is not getting any better. Dangerous chemicals seeping into our soil, plastic floating in our oceans, untreated sewage, and acid rain are some of the world's pollution problems. It may not seem that these problems are really serious, but because of the small amount of participation in cleanup programs and the Earth's increasing population, these problems are growing enormously. We should all realize that something has to be done. The large population produces three major types of waste: municipal, which is waste from homes, schools, offices, and restaurants; industrial, which is waste from factories, plants, and mines; and nuclear, which is waste from atomic factories, nuclear power plants, and nuclear reactors.
And losing our heritage was Ross Ann's chosen topic.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow speakers, lions, lioness. The topic I chose to speak on tonight is our heritage loss. Specifically, I would like to show how young people like myself lost a major part of our heritage when the Cossacks completed the enforcement moratorium in 1992. Since then, the government designates a couple weekends a year for the so-called food fishery. Last year, when I took part, I went out 3 times and had to come in either because of a lack of fish or rough seas. On the first 3 days of the food fishery, the winds were too high to go out. If I did go out, I would risk my life and my boat. This is a very serious situation being forced upon us by our government. Yet, it is a situation with a very simple solution. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans should issue tags in Newfoundlanders interested in taking part in the food fishery to use whenever they see fit in a period of a year, so that people can go out and get fresh fish whenever they want it. They can still keep the same limits established for 2 weekends of food fishery, but it would mean more benefits for young people like the other speakers and myself.
Constable Egan Anderson and Rose Vatcher asked the contestants some tough questions. The judges were Hector Pollard, Norman Marsden, and the pharmacist Miranda Thornhill. The winners of the Lions Annual Speak-Off were...
That's right. Anybody got anything here to verify this? Okay, the person coming in 3rd place was speaker number 4. By the way, if the road had closed down an hour earlier, we wouldn't have had this. That's okay. Congratulations, speaker number 4, Benjamin Batcher. Second place goes to speaker number 5. And first place goes to speaker number 3.
Congratulations to all the participants for taking part. The Lions Winter Carnival 2000 was from Sunday, February 20th to Saturday, February 26th. The events that were planned for the Winter Carnival last Sunday had to be cancelled due to lack of snow. However, the weather was perfect for the minor hockey general skating. A large crowd came out to enjoy skating to music on the rink. On Monday, the residents got a chance to play in a crib tournament. Approximately 16 teams signed up to play. The winner of the first place was Albert Ricketts and Raymond Courtney. Lewis Ingram and Walford Dunford took second place. On Tuesday, there was sliding, general skating, and organizational darts. Wednesday brought general skating and the speak-off. On Tuesday at 7 p.m., there was a bonfire with free wieners and hot chocolates and darts at the community center. There was a pre-teen and teenage dance on Friday. On Saturday, a scavenger hunt and poker walk was held with an adult dance finishing the day. We hope everyone got out and enjoyed some part of the Winter Carnival. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
It was harvest time when a terrible accident changed John Paul's life forever. He was playing near a grain auger and fell onto the moving blades. Both his arms were severed. John Paul and other War Amps champs who have lost arms and legs in accidents appear on parade floats and television with a kids-to-kids warning.
Don't let it happen to you. Play safe.
Please call the War Amps about the materials available through the Play Safe program.
Play safe.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of another Lions speak-off. Let's look back to 1992.
And I'll start with the third runner-up. The judges were telling me that all the topics were good. It was a hard judgment to make because there were so many things taken into consideration. But these are the final decision. Third runner-up, Crystal Pink. She received a plaque plus a $30, $20 check from the Lions Club. Second runner-up, Caroline Ingram. Caroline received a $30 check and a Blackfoot Lions Club. And the winner of the 1992 annual Speak Off is Beverly LaFosse. And we're not forgetting the other two participants that participated tonight. Clinton Barter with a check of $10 and an appreciation plaque from the Lions Club. And Connie Willard, $10 check and a participating plaque from the Lions Club.
Good evening and welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Jennifer Marks. The winner of AJ Matthews TV Bingo was Claudine Han. Congratulations, Claudine. The Help Committee will be hosting the next TV Bingo on Wednesday, March 1st at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and can be purchased from any Help Committee member or are in most stores around town. Please support the Help Committee and play TV Bingo. With spring fast approaching, the Sand & Sea Committee are planning their next festival for July 27th to the 30th. Any group or organization planning an event for the 2000 Sand & Sea Festival are asked to submit it to Paulette Marston at 886-2830. Time is critical, so if you are seriously interested in taking part in the upcoming festival, call soon. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesdays of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Join us on Monday for the Fishery Now video number 11. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Elk Committee TV Bingo. Following the bingo, we will have a snowmobile safety video entitled No Second Chance. Tune in on Thursday when we will have the last in our Fishery Now series. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by The Bandwagon. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night.